Hey everyone, it's Julie. Today we'll be making meatball baked ziti. If you haven't had dinner yet, when this video is over, run and make this. It's incredibly delicious, it's comfort food at its best, and perfect for the fall. So let's get started. So originally I wanted to make a 5-cheese baked ziti. Then I changed my mind and thought adding meatballs would be so much better. So I like to break up the meat with a fork so the ingredients stay in the center and don't fall over to the side. I added some finely chopped onions, minced garlic, parsley, basil, fresh herbs and meatballs for me is a must, some breadcrumbs. I do have many meatball recipes, and if you watch my videos regularly, you'll notice I love to use fresh bread soaked in milk. I didn't have any bread, so I decided to go with some store-bought breadcrumbs. Added an egg to bind everything together, some milk to loosen things up and moisten it up a bit, some Parmesan cheese, a little bit of chili powder, salt and pepper, and that's it. Make sure to season these really well with salt and pepper. If you're a beginner cook and are cooking for an occasion, I highly recommend frying one meatball just for taste, and if it needs more seasoning, then you can always add more. You don't want to cook all of the meatballs and then realize that they're all under-seasoned and bland. So great tip of frying just one meatball to check for seasoning if you're a beginner cook. Go ahead and mix everything together. You don't have to overmix, just make sure everything is combined. I'm making tablespoon-sized meatballs with a tablespoon measuring spoon. Form them into little balls and they're ready to cook. I always cook them in vegetable oil. Gave me around 20 something meatballs. I cooked them in batches. There's so little and so many of them, I didn't even bother getting the tongs out to flip them over. I just rocked the skillet back and forth. That should flip most of them over. You might get a couple lazy meatballs that won't want to flip over, but those you can flip them over yourself. In total, I cooked them for about 10 minutes on medium-low heat. I removed them from the skillet. There will be a lot of excess oil. I suggest getting rid of most of it, but leave a little behind in the skillet to saute the onions and garlic. I added the onions, and in total I used only half of an onion for this recipe. I chopped up half of the onion and then used half for the meatballs and half for the sauce. Gave them a stir, and I let them cook for about 3 minutes. I added some red chili flakes, I like a lot, so in the recipe I'll put 2 taste. Some fresh garlic, basil, and then finally the fire roasted crushed tomatoes. I am obsessed with these fire roasted crushed tomatoes, they're delicious. Give everything a stir, add a splash of red wine if you'd like, salt and pepper, and some sugar. If you are completely against adding sugar, you can always add some grated carrots and that should cut out the acidity from the tomatoes. I only cook the sauce for about 15-20 minutes since it doesn't have any meat. There's nothing that needs to be tenderized, so 20 minutes tops. Some more basil. I love basil. Well, I'll be honest, I purchased a small basil plant and I wanted to get my money's worth. I added some ricotta cheese to the sauce. I did make this for my little cousin's birthday. She is a very picky eater. She wanted baked ziti, but didn't want too much ricotta cheese. So what I did was I added the ricotta to the sauce so it could melt a bit and not be crumbly. If you like the texture of the crumbly ricotta, like I do, I suggest you add the ricotta to the pasta, mix it, and then ladle over the sauce. But I think this turned into a delicious pink sauce and it was perfect. I returned all of the delicious meatballs into the sauce. I saved some sauce to ladle over the top later on. And then you want to add your pasta. Give everything a mix. Check for seasoning at this point. You still have time. Place everything into a baking dish. If you have a stainless steel oven safe skillet, you can finish it off in the same skillet. Mine is not oven safe, so I just used a baking dish. I used some fresh mozzarella cheese that I had in the fridge for the inside. I don't like the way fresh mozzarella melts, but I do love the way it tastes mixed in with pasta. I grated some Parmesan cheese on top, a little bit of oregano, gave everything a mix, and at this point you can certainly add more ricotta cheese. I really wanted to, but it was her birthday. I ladled the extra sauce that we saved earlier over the top, And now I sprinkled the grated mozzarella that comes in a bag. I think grated mozzarella cheese melts the best. They use it on pizza for a reason, so if you like that stringy, nice cheese, get the already grated cheese in a bag. I grated some extra Parmesan on top, and this is going to go under the broiler uncovered for about 15 to 20 minutes. Oh my, it looks perfect, but I really wish you guys would have been here to taste it. It should come out nice and bubbly. I'm sorry, I just had to get my money's worth with that basil plant. I highly recommend serving this with salad, garlic bread, and a glass of wine, if you're old enough to drink, of course. I really recommend this recipe. It was so good. I hope you guys really give this recipe a try. Hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you all so much for watching.